What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Otherwise with Jane Harvey. With me, your host and devoted parasocial friend, Jane Harvey. Today I'm going to talk about neuroplasticity. So this is something that absolutely geeks me out, and that might sound like a scientific word to you or something that you don't know about, but actually, if you've heard of affirmations or if you've heard of The Secret, you know what neuroplasticity is. So essentially, neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change its neural pathways. I immediately put my brush down because I get so excited about this topic. Okay. So our brain has neurons, right? And our neurons fire, and they're basically, to be like rudimentary, like the neuron interaction, the neurons firing create our reality. So that's a very non-scientific, like not diminished, but like that's a reduced, sort of like simplified version of this definition, but it is factual. Our neurological activity is what shapes what we perceive to be true in the world. So it formulates our beliefs and our sense of reality, our sense of truth, right? So this is super, 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 super cool. And when we're children, we are taught a lot of things, and our brains start imbibing that information and cultivating it neurologically. So we think of it as like neural pathways. And you can think of these pathways as like paths in a forest. So the more you walk down these paths, the more trodden they become, the clearer they are, the more carved out they are, the easier it becomes to traverse them. So the neural pathway is the same. The more you reaffirm a pathway in your brain, the easier it is for neural firing to go in that direction. And so in fact, when your neurons are like searching for a place to go, they're like, oh, hello, I'm going to go this way because it's so easily carved out. I've been here a million times before. I know this. So that's how we can get into like life, sort of a stuckness, like a life like a feeling of limitation, or I often refer to it as like ossification, like this sort of limited way of thinking, because your brain is doing what you are telling it to do, essentially. And I'll make another video really soon about like the watching consciousness and then the brain itself. But the brain is part of the body, and so it's functioning the way that we, this riveting other that like, ugh, I geek out about it, but this other is directing it to function. So you have these neural pathways, and when you're a child, you're directed externally and also internally. Like we definitely have agency and thought and choice and all of those things when we're young, but we're very, very adaptable. We're new to the world. We're absorbing. We've placed trust in these large roles in our lives: parents, teachers, grandparents, other friends, people who are educating us and informing our neural pathways, our neural structure. The thing is, this can be a bummer if you're stuck. Like if you're unsatisfied with how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life, you might be like, man, I can't get out of this rut. Or maybe you think about things in a way that's making you a little bitter, or you're noticing that you're feeling really negative. And it could be about going to the gym, or about an opposing political party, or about your family, or about maybe your partner's asking you to do something and you really don't want to do it, or you don't understand why they need it, or whatever it is. You have a belief that's boxing you. It could be about you, like you deeply want something for yourself, but you have this neural pathway that says you can't have it, you can't do it. That sucks, right? That's when we get to a point where we're disappointed by our own cognitive functioning. Like our neural structure is here to help us, but it's net neutral. We build it. So if maybe you had a family member who were like, you can't do that, you can't have that, you're not good enough, or whatever, some sort of like wretched narrative, but it got repeated enough that it created this pathway in your brain. And now, even though you're like, I want this different thing, you find yourself over and over again coming back to that thought pattern. That sucks, right? The good news is we have this thing called neuroplasticity. and this is where affirmations come in, or if you've read The Secret, or if you've seen The Secret, this is basically the rerouting of neural pathways. So you break old habits, you're like plastic, you're elastic. You can shift, start to like let that forested path grow over. Like you don't go down it anymore. And you get out into the forest again. You start hacking away at these new paths, cultivating these new spaces for your neurons to go down, and you get to choose what they are. And the cool thing is, your brain doesn't care if it's quote unquote real or not real. So you might have gotten stuck in the past with like, well, how am I supposed to tell myself, I have $1 million, or I have an amazing art career, or I've met my dream partner, if it's not true. The cool thing is your brain doesn't care if it's true or not. You can rebuild this neural pathway on your own by envisioning the state that you want for yourself. So if you're in a relaxed state of mind, this is like the most effective way to do this. You can go into parasympathetic. I, sidebar, have made a really awesome video about the parasympathetic nervous system. You can check it out. Also, hi, if you're new here and you haven't seen any videos yet, I make new videos every day. I'm so glad you're here. You want to find yourself in a calm state, and then you start to envision the thing that you want for yourself, and you feel the way you feel, and you think the way that you would think. So what would be the way that you talked to yourself if you had the career that you so deeply want? What would be the way that you felt about yourself if you had the partner that you're craving and the connection that you're craving? You cultivate those things, and as you're doing that, your neurons are building new pathways. And then what's happening in your brain, the more you do that, is they're reinforcing those pathways over and over again. They start going down those roads of self-respect, self-love, enthusiasm, excitement, self-animation, and you shift out of a narrative or a thought process, a neural pathway that's no longer serving you. And you can do this while you're still in a situation that you don't like, because it genuinely starts inside your brain, and you can steward that activity. And a beautiful thing about the brain is it's biased. This is like its worst and best characteristic. So if you sit around and you're like, I'm never going to amount to anything and everything sucks, your brain is like, aye, cap, like noted, got it. And it is going to show you how you're never going to amount to anything and how anything sucks, because it is a devoted and loyal servant. It's this amazing, committed partner with your life that is like, I am going to show you what is true. Like, it has your back. So you have to be careful what you're asking it to do. But if you're sitting there saying, you know what, I got this, I'm not going to quit no matter what. Like, my right person is out there for me, or my desire to become XYZ is happening. And I'm not telling you to be delusional. There is a difference between affirmation and delusion, and that's a really important delineation, and maybe I'll make a video about that. But I think that's the biggest argument that people often make with this is, well, what if I want to join the NBA but I'm like 5'2" and have no vertical? It's like, well, then you're probably not going to make the NBA. But if you really love basketball and you want to have a relationship with basketball, why don't you start programming for that? So there's a difference, but you don't need to be deluding yourself to be seeking your desires. So say it's basketball, right? Let's stick with that. You really want to up your game and you want to join a league and you want to start playing, but right now you're physically maybe not in your prime and you're not feeling great. You can start telling your brain, I'm a badass basketball player. I know my handles, I know what I'm doing, I go a couple times a week, I play with some friends, I get into it, it's awesome. Your brain is like, cool, I like that. I like whatever you tell me, let's do it. And you're gonna start noticing a basketball league that you could sign up for that's for beginners, and you're gonna see a really great ball at a store on your way home from work, and maybe you'll grab it, or you'll overhear your coworkers talking about a league that they're putting together and how it's no pressure. And this is the like, your brain is going to code for the thing that you tell it to code for. This is its most powerful trait. And the elasticity is that we can change what it's coding for. You are not stuck. Your brain is not is only as stiff as you allow it to be. So if you start, and meditation is a great way to do this. If you start observing your thought process, take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however time you have, a day, a couple times a week. Don't stress yourself out. Just start to notice what you're thinking. You will see what you're patterning for in your life. You will see what you're telling yourself you deserve, you can do, you're going to get, you're headed for. You are scripting a narrative all day, every day. And if you can take one step back and just take a look at it, you can change it. You can say, no, I don't want those things. They suck. And you might meet some resistance, and you are going to meet maybe some emotional wounds, and that's okay. Good. Better now than later. Meet those wounds. Have those relationships. Cry it out. Journal it out. Get a therapist about it. Talk to a friend. Talk to a partner. But don't let those thoughts dictate your existence. If they're not the thoughts that you want, if you're not living the way that you want to, take action, take ownership, make a difference. You can literally shift your brain. It is an elastic tool waiting for you. It might take some time, but it doesn't matter. Everything worth doing takes time. Find those moments in the day when you can sit with yourself. Mirror work is a great way to do it. Journaling is a great way to do it. Meditating is a great way to do it. And start shifting your thoughts towards what you do want. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel like, I don't know, like I don't deserve this, or whatever it is, whatever thought is going to come up. Tell that thought, no thank you. Tell that thought, I'm all set. And keep going. Push through. Let yourself feel that joy. Let yourself feel that excitement. You deserve it. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to create a life that you love. Let those feelings bubble up in you. Write them down. Say them to yourself in the mirror. Think them throughout the day. Put them on a Post-it note. Listen to a recording of them in your car. That's one that I do all the time, as I make voice memos for myself and I play them on my way to the gym, or I play them while I'm doing face yoga in the morning before I go teach. I play them when I put my makeup on, and my brain loves it. It's like candy. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Oh, that's what we're thinking about. Oh, that's what we're looking for. And then you can watch all day long. Some people call it synchronicity, that alignment of what you're looking for with what you see out in front of you. That magical occurrence when what you're hoping to find pops up. Let your brain track it. Let your brain look for it. You have this. It's neuroplasticity. It's amazing. It's one of the best tools we have. Take ownership of your mind. You can do it. You can build a life that fuels you and satisfies you, I promise. I geeked out on this one. I couldn't even draw. I love this stuff so much. If you want to learn more about it, if you have any further questions, leave me a comment. I'm happy to go deeper. So glad you're here. Hope you enjoyed this. Like it, subscribe, share it with a friend, and I will see you again tomorrow.